All right, guys, welcome back to another video. To kick off this week, we have rumors to talk about, lots of controversies that have been going on over the weekend, plus some other pretty interesting things in terms of games that potentially are going to be coming out. But before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and also check out my Spotify. Link is in the description. So obviously this is the big week here for Gamescom. We're getting Gamescom opening night live. Xbox is having a huge showcase or a huge booth with 50 plus games, and there's going to be lots of in-depth looks at games that are coming out. It's going to be a fun week of gaming information that we'll obviously be talking about on this channel, so I'm looking forward to that. But leading up to Gamescom opening night live, there has been some more of those Xbox games going over to PlayStation 5 rumors that have hit the news, and everybody is talking about it. Last week we talked about how people were saying it could be Forza Horizon 5, and now it seems like those rumors have been shut down, and it may not be the one that is coming this week, and that may come at a different point, but that is the one people were thinking was going to be coming and being announced at Gamescom. It was originally here, it's a suggested that was going to be Forza Horizon 5. We saw the posts on Reset Era and stuff, and now there is a rumor that happened a couple of months ago that could point to what that game is going to be. It could be Microsoft Flight Simulator. That may be the next Xbox game going over to the PlayStation 5. It says here, Xbox will probably announce its multi-platform plans late next month or right before the fiscal year ends. Its software's next-gen game is no longer an Xbox exclusive and will be multi-platform. Bethesda's next few games that were exclusive have also been pushed to be multi-platform. Instead, a Microsoft Flight Simulator will be multi-platform, and a few other older first-party games are also going to be multi-platform. They say Indiana Jones is a little weird because he's modeled after Harrison Ford to the full extent, but being voiced by Troy Baker. Most of the game is also first-person, including whip combat, and Hideo Kojima is finally making movies. And this was a rumor put out back in January. This was on NeoGAF. Now, again, take everything here with a grain of salt, because of course some of these things could end up being wrong. But if you do read through that rumor, a lot of the stuff actually was correct, and this was leading up to the whole business update and everything about Xbox, about them putting more play games and everything. And again, he mentioned here that Microsoft Flight Simulator will be multi-platform, and they say a few other older first-party games are going to be multi-platform, which is correct on that point. So that leads me to believe, and I think a lot of people to believe, that Microsoft Flight Simulator could be that next big game that is going to be going over to the PlayStation 5. And I have to always reiterate when we talk about this stuff, I do not care. I don't think this is a bad thing whatsoever. I think this is a good thing to get more people playing a game. It helps grow the game. It helps grow the community. It'll bring more games over to Xbox Game Pass, as Xbox is able to make more money off of the PlayStation users and then bolster their service, their Game Pass service, even more with more third-party releases, and obviously continuing to develop first-party games. But a lot of people want to know, a lot of people are going to want to talk about what could be coming next, and I think this is the way of the industry. I don't think this is only Xbox that's going to be doing things like this. PlayStation is putting their games on PC now, and I think in the future we'll be seeing PlayStation games in even more places than that. So I've been saying that for years, and it is really all coming to fruition at this point, as the actual piece of plastic, the actual box itself, is no longer the focal point for these companies. It is their ecosystem, subscriptions, people spending time in PlayStation Network and on Xbox Live, all of those things, spending money within the stores. That is far more important than the actual box itself. So we'll see. Maybe this is wrong, maybe this is right, but I'm excited to kind of get past this and see what that game these rumors are all talking about, or maybe they're all completely wrong. Now let's jump over here. Let's talk about a couple of controversies. We'll start off with this one, because this one is extremely interesting in my opinion. And this has to do with the Black Myth WuKong. And we know that this game is coming out. We've seen the reviews for PC. I mean, all the review copies have been on PC. It's sitting, I think, like an 82 or along those lines on Metacritic. So it's a decent game. A lot of people thought this was going to be like a 90 plus banger and it was going to be like game of the year. I don't think it's going to end up being that, but it's gotten some good review scores. But now we're getting some more information about the actual guidelines for the reviews. And this is kind of concerning, if you do ask me, in terms of just the overall integrity of free speech, journalism, all of those types of things. And this has to do with, apparently there was some guidelines that was sent around about what the do's and don'ts were for reviewing this game. A lot of people thought this was fake, but it seems like it has been confirmed. This is Forbes. This is Paul Tassi. It says, as reported, a document regarding coverage for the upcoming Black Myth WuKong has been floating around the internet, making very strange demands from creators in order to receive a code. It seems almost too absurd to be true, but now I have been able to confirm with a US-based creator I trust that it is in fact legitimate. So this, from all accounts right now, is true as to what was sent around by Game Science, the developers behind the game, to reviewers as to what they could say and what they couldn't say. And here's what it is. It says, the do's: enjoy the game. The don'ts: do not insult other influencers or players. Do not use any offensive language or humor. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, I've had trouble saying that one, and other content that instigates negative discourse. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19. And do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc. Now, I think a lot of people will probably disagree with me on this. I'm not sure. I mean, you go on the internet, you see all of the rage bait and all the grifting around this type of stuff. And I could totally be on the side of, I don't want any of these things in my reviews. Like, I am so against people bringing in their activism, their politics, all of this stuff that most people really just want to know if the game is good or not. I am so against that into video game reviews. But what I'm even more against is when a developer and a publisher is trying to control somebody's speech and telling them what they can and cannot say. Because at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is, if you hate the reviews with all of this stuff in it, you don't have to click on the websites. You don't have to read the websites. All you have to go out there and do is find a reviewer that you do trust, who sticks to the video game when they are reviewing a game. And then you're able to get your information from them. And if that helps you decide whether you want to play the game or not, that is great. So I'm actually against this. And especially because of just the fact that they're telling people not to discuss certain things. It would be the exact same to me if they were telling people not to discuss certain things on the other side. I don't care about anybody's politics. I just want to know if the gamer is good or not. But I'm also not going to be telling video game websites like HAAK, which I never read, to stop doing their activism. I don't care about their activism, and they're going to lose readers and they're going to lose subscribers and they're going to go under anyways, because nobody really does care about that who just want to know about the video games. And that is when it all comes down to. It comes down to being able to have your freedom, be able to say what you want, being able to put whatever you want in your video game review. So I'm pretty against this when it comes to the Black Myth WuKong, but you'll see a lot of stuff happening throughout this week, and it's going to be a lot of people saying this is a good thing. And I don't agree with that. If you have any principles for freedom of speech, then you would be against this, and you would be against it if it was on the other side as well. So we'll see how this all turns out. If this does affect the game at all, I feel like it's going to sell still very, very well. And yeah, we'll see if the PlayStation 5 versions of this review, or the reviews for this game, do start coming out, and how those end up being, because we still don't know the overall performance of Black Myth WuKong on the PlayStation 5. There was one video that popped up and it looked decent, but it was a very small clip. So we'll see if the PS5 version does end up running as well as the PC version. So that was one controversy. Now there is another controversy here, and this has to do with Xbox and indie development and smaller game studios. This post absolutely blew up, and I mean, this is the original one. You can see here, like, it has 2 million views and 7K likes, 1.3K book. It was a massive post. This has to do with the HAAK game, and it's a Metroidvania game. Never heard of this game previous to this controversy. However, I have looked at the gameplay, and the game actually looks like it is a ton of fun. But it has to do with publishing the game on Xbox, and they put out a big post here. I'm not going to go through it all, but basically what happened was they had spent a lot of time trying to get into the partner program, trying to deal with Microsoft and Xbox, and they weren't able to get the problem resolved. They weren't getting any responses from Microsoft, and the ID at Xbox team basically were saying it was out of their hands and they were powerless in this situation. So they say here, I'll read, I guess, a little bit of it. They do say that in reality, porting the Xbox version of our game would have taken less than 2 weeks, but we spent over 14 months trying to apply for game publication and complete Microsoft partner identity registration. And this experience has been terrible because we can feel the enthusiasm from the Xbox community players, yet they struggle to resolve what the problem is. And they're basically also saying that they're not going to be putting the game on Xbox because they don't want to spend any more resources to get the game out there. And this has a lot of people calling Xbox out. You have even Larry Herb in here saying, "Oh, sorry to hear about this. I wish I could help." You have Tim Sweeney down here somewhere who actually pings Phil Spencer on X, which is kind of funny because he's obviously Epic Games CEO and founder. So he's even getting involved in this. And this just sounds like a major situation specifically for this game. I don't know how far it goes out to other indie devs, but if you do read through some of these comments, you have this game here called Mad Fellows Game saying, "I'm quite shocked at this. We didn't have any of these issues developing for Xbox. I can appreciate the frustration we've experienced similar with other partnerships. As an indie, a delay of a few months can be the difference between sink or swim. The stress can be immense." So it's not everyone is happening with this game. I feel like this could be one more of those one-off situations, or not every single game this occurs with. However, it's obviously something Xbox does need to get a grasp on. This is one of the bigger issues when you have such a large corporation dealing with this type of stuff. Things definitely fall through the cracks. And you have games like this where now it's a great marketing campaign as well. Now people are looking at this and want to play it, and they're probably going to go pick it up on Steam or something, where a lot of people on Xbox who would have heard about this game, like Metroidvanias, would have played it on Xbox. And that's where they have dropped the ball with not getting this thing figured out. And there is a small update here from the HAAK game themselves. They finally did get a response. They published the response, and it's a big email with apologies and all of that stuff and trying to get the game onboarded. But then they also as well put out another post that basically are saying even with the response not going forward, they still are not going to be putting it on to Xbox and all that stuff. So Xbox has lost this indie game. I mean, is it going to make a big deal on people playing Xbox? No, it isn't, but it is something that should definitely figure out going forward for other indie games. So if you've been wondering what's happening with the HAAK game, you've seen people talking about, that's basically it. They've been having troubles getting through the partner program to get their game published on the platform. Now let's talk some more rumors for Xbox, and I really hope this one is true for a couple of reasons. This is a rumor here from Special Nick and Xbox Era. And as you can see, they're doing their live in-person podcast before going to Gamescom. And Special Nick had this to say about what potentially could be coming over to Xbox, what could be ported over to Xbox. I will just play the clip for you, and then we will talk about it.
What I've heard about this is, now, this rumor mill is around Xbox for the first time in a long time. And what I have heard is that Microsoft is looking to... They're working to get Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I guess, reactivated, relicensed, or whatever, to bring those two games back on Xbox. I mean, they were Xbox One ports, I guess, so they'd be BC for the series consoles. So yes, Microsoft is trying to is working on, or is trying to work through the process of getting those games relicensed. Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which I already owned one of those. I've already got Deadpool, so it's not an issue for me. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I'd love.
So there you have it. And to me, this would be a great thing for Xbox to continue to work on with these games and with other games. I mean, this is one of the things that people are asking, what's happening to all of these backwards compatible games and when are they coming onto Xbox? I'm sure behind the scenes, they are working on all of these licensing agreements and all of these things they have to go through before they can release. And it looks like, according to Special Link, again, rumor, take it with a grain of salt. Of course, Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance could be coming back to be able to be played, even if that is just through backwards compatibility. I think that's a great thing. And one of the major things here for me is Deadpool. And not because Deadpool is a great game. I know a lot of people look at it now because of the movie Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's a fun game, but it's not the greatest game in the world. But the issue with Deadpool is that it is so expensive, and it's gone up even more in price because of the recent Deadpool Wolverine movie that was released, and you can't buy these games anywhere. They're very hard to get. If you want to go buy a physical copy, you're spending over $100 generally for them if you want at least like a complete copy of it and stuff. So if they're able to relicense these and re-release them, it will drive the prices of those physical copies down for people who do want to buy them. And if you don't care about the collection part of it, if you don't care about the physical copy part of it, you're still going to be able to pick up a digital version, which still is unavailable. So I really hope this happens. I hope these licenses get renewed. They do release them, launch them into Game Pass, launch them onto the Xbox store. I think that's a huge win for Xbox and gamers all around. All right, let's talk about this because I hope this is something that does happen. This is another game that I would love to see come back, even if it's just re-released. But that is Bully has been rated for the PS5, the Xbox Series, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and PC in Taiwan. It says here, the Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee has rated Bully for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And an Xbox 360 version of the game was also newly rated, but Gematsu suspects this may be an error as the existing Xbox 360 version of Bully Scholarship Edition already has a separate rating. So it may be coming back here. They may be putting it out on all of these platforms, a remaster or something, and giving it a nice upgrade. And the Bully is one of those games from Rockstar that not a lot of people talk about that much anymore because they haven't had a new one in forever, but it's one of the great games in their library. So I'd love to see that one come back. I do have it for the Xbox 360, so hoping that that one is true. And then we have this year, if you're looking for SIlksong, a Gamescom Open Night Live. Again, it's not happening. Who knows when this game is coming out now? It's just been so long since we've heard anything about it. But Jeff Keighley does tweet this out. Just to get this out of the way, no SIlksong on Tuesday at Opening Night Live. Team Cherry Games is still cooking, so do not expect SIlksong. And finally, there is a report here about a new Ubisoft game, codename Iridium, and some story details that have been unearthed about the game itself. So it says here, Ubisoft is no stranger to introducing new franchises to the gaming world, as not only it is the publisher that has been consistent of delivering new entries in its existing franchises, but the company has made a name by introducing all new gaming IPs as well, Watch Dogs and X Defiant, which are recent ones. And now we have some more information kind of what a new game that they're working on is going to be about. It says, in the aftermath of a terrible war, scavengers pick through the ruins of High Point City for invaluable resources. Once considered the pinnacle of human civilization, High Point is now controlled by the forces that defeated it. Something between a prison and a science experiment gone wrong. Intense radiation prevents organic humans from operating inside the war zone, so human minds are copied into mechanical shells, allowing them to explore the hostile landscape. Illegal factions struggle against each other for survival in the wastelands, while the local authority maintains order as best it can. Now, decades after the fall of High Point, something is beginning to stir within the ashes, something alien. As Whitaker, a man with a shady past and a reputation for taking jobs no one else will, experience what it means to trade your humanity for a mechanical shell. As you embark on the journey of a lifetime, Whitaker will need stealth, cunning, and a variety of vehicles and weapon systems to reach the epicenter of the mysterious place. Only then will High Point reveal its deepest secrets. And I mean, if you ask me, that sounds pretty cool. I would love to see what this game is all about and how it's going to play. And I mean, I do enjoy the Ubisoft open worlds, but I could also see potentially them taking a step back like they did with the Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Mirage, making a smaller game, maybe making this more linear, semi-open world or something, and giving a more bigger cinematic experience. I think that would be cool as well. Now, they also do say, I mean, these are coming from specifically casting. So it says it starts with a casting call made in March of last year for a project codenamed Iridium, directed by Kim Herden, a voice casting director who has worked on numerous Ubisoft projects in the past. So that's where that information is coming from, and how they are getting this information about what that game could potentially be. They say regarding the role, they were looking for an actress to portray a character named Octavia, a character in her mid-20s. And they talk about that character as well, who's a low-level employee at the Event Containment Area Authority's Infrastructure Division, responsible for construction and maintenance of the vast network of buildings and devices inside the ECA. Both parents were respected scientists in High Point before the war. When the event took place, Octavia and her father escaped, but her mother was a devotee at High Point's self-appointed leader, Isaac Armitage, and was not not in the explosion. Octavia is a rebel. She grew up in the ECA and doesn't look like being told what she's allowed to do and see there. So that's, I mean, kind of an overview of what this game could potentially be. It does seem like it's kind of a mesh and mix up of all of their games. I mean, this sounds kind of like a Division there with the humanity thing, Watch Dogs with the technology side of things. There's going to be, they say, stealth and everything. That could be like some Assassin's Creed mix in there. So pretty cool. I hope we see more about this sometime soon. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.